गुणरूपनाम्नां श्रीराधिका माधवयरपान माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्नां प्रतीक्षण स्वादन ललोपशं प्रतीक्षण स्वादन ललोपशं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं संसारदावाननन्दलोक प्राणाय कारुण्य घनाघनत्यं सकलन गुणान्नवश वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं निकुञ्जजूनरतिकेली सिद्धैः निकुञ्जजूनरतिकेली सिद्धैः जाजाली अपेक्षणीया निकुञ्जजूनारति कैली सिद्धैः जाजाली भी जुक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रातिदाक्षादति वल्लवशं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं संसारदावानललितलोक प्राणाय कारुण्य घनाघनतं सकलन गुणान्नवश वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं साक्षादरीतेन समस्तशास्त्रैः युक्तस्तथा भावत एव सद्भिः साक्षादरीतेन समस्तशास्त्रैः युक्तस्तथा भावत एव सद्भिः किन्तु प्रभुः प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् प्रभो प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं संसारदावानललितलोक प्राणाय कारुण्य घनाघनत्यं सकलन गुणार्णवश वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसाद यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसाद यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि गायं स्तुवं तस्य यशस्वी सन्धं गायं स्तुवं तस्य यशस्वी सन्धं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दं संसारदावानललितलोक Krishna Yadavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Ketavaya Namah Adaye Gopal Govinda Rama Madhusudana Gopal Govinda Rama Giridhari Gopi Na Madana Giridhari Gopi Na Madana Adaye Yadavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Ketavaya Namah Adaye Gopal Govinda Rama Madhusudana Gopal Govinda Rama Madhusudana Giridhari Gopina Madhana Gopal Govinda Rama Gopal Govinda Rama Madhusudana Giridhari Gopi Na Madana Mohana Adaye Namah Krishna Adaye Namah Yadavaya Yadavaya Madhavaya Ketavaya Namah Adaye Ani Adaye Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Ketavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Ketavaya Namah Adaye Namah Krishna गोपाल गोविंद राम हे मधुसूदन गोपाल गोविंद राम हे मधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ धारी गोपीनाथ मदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन हरये नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत चिता श्री चैतन्य श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत चिता हरि गुरु वैष्णव हरि गुरु वैष्णव भागवत गीता हरि गुरु वैष्णव भागवत गीता हरये हरये यादवाय माधवाय यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः हरये नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः हरये यादवाय माधवाय यादवाय आय माधवाय केशवाय जय गोसाई सबर पद रे न मोर पंच छाए सवार पद रे न मोर पंच चरण बंदन छाए गोसाई करी चरण बंदन जहाँ हईते बिगड़ना बंदन जहाँ हईते बिगड़ना तादेव चारण सेवी भक्त सुनेवा तादेव चारण सेवी भक्त सुनेवा नहीं जावे ब्रजे कैल बाग जावे ब्रजे कैल राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण नित्य लीला लीला अभी ब्रज मैना ब्रजे गंगा राधा नित्य लीला आनंद बल हरि भज वृंदावन हरि गुरु वैष्णव आनंद अल हरि आनंद अल हरि भज वृंदावन हरि आनंद लहरी भज वृंदावन हरि वैष्णवे चंद बोले जाग जाग गोरा चंद बोले कथा निद्रा जाओ साचीर को बोले गिर जाग जाग कथा निद्रा जाओ तुम्हें साचीर खोले जाग 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 বলে জাগ জাগ রাতন বলে কত নিদ্রা যাও তুমি মায়া পিছাচির বলে কত নিদ্রা যাও তুমি মায়া পিছাচির বলে জাগ জাগ গোরা চাঁদ বলে দিল জাগ দিল জাগ দিল জাগ রাত বলে কত নিদ্রা যাও তুমি কত নিদ্রা কত নিদ্রা যাও তুমি মায়া পীঠা কত নিদ্রা যাও তুমি কত নিদ্রা যাও তুমি পিছাচির বলে জাগ 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 গোরা চাঁদ বলে জাগ জাগ ছড়াবিত করে বলিব বলিয়ালে তুষার করে ভুলিয়ার দিলে তুমি ভুলিয়ার দিলে তুমি মায়া পিছাচির কোলে ভুলিয়ার দিলে তুমি মায়া পিছাচির কোলে জাগ জাগ গোরা চাঁদ বলে জাগ জাগ গোরা চাঁদ বলে কত নিদ্রা যাও মায়া পিছাচির কোলে কত मित्र जो माया पिशाची बोले जाग जाग गोर बोले बर लागी औषधि माया जीवन लागी हरि नाम महामंत्र न हो तुम्हें मागी औषधि माया नाची बारो लागे जीवन लागी हरि नमः महामंत्र रहतु मागी हरि नमः महामंत्र रहतु मागी औषधि माया जीवन आगी हरि नमः महामंत्र मागे भक्ति विनद प्रभु चरण पदिया भक्ति विनद प्रभु चरण पदिया हरि नाम महामंत्र लगी वही नाम गाए गौर मधु करे नाम गाए गौर मधु करे नाम गाए गौर मधु करे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे वैनम गाए गौर मधु करे वैनम गाए गौर मधु करे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे राम गाए गौर मधु करे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 गौर मधु करे মনে থাক দাদা হরি বলে ডাক ইহে মনে থাক দাদা হরি বলে ডাক হে Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nam Gaye Maya Jale Bhagwan Hoye Acho Piche Kajaloye Maya Jale Bhagwan Hoye Maya Jale Bhagwan Hoye Acho Piche Kajaloye Bhagwan Hoye Maya Jale Bhagwan Hoye Acho Niche Kajolaye Kalache Kalape Kalache Kalape Radha Nam Hare Kalache Kalape Radha Nam Hare Hare Goratha Hare Goratha Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Goratha Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Goratha Madhu Hare. Nam Bhai Goratha Hare Jivan Nam Bhojile Ishikacha Vimana Hila Nam Bhojile Ishikacha Akatibi Nado Padesha Akati binado padeso Akati bina upadeso Ekbar Akati nado deso Ekbar Hari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Guru, Hare Guru, Hare Gomone Thake Ada Hari Bale Jap Ye Bhag Gone Thake Ada Hari Bale Jap Ukhe Duke Dukhe Pulanak Madane Namka Dukhe Pulanak Sada Hari Namka Agora Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Agora Madhu Hare Vainam Gaya Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
हाँ अभी ठीक है. रुक जा करो. की बजाया जया गारा चांदे आरती का शोभा जया जया गारा चांदे आरती का शोभा की बजाया जया गारा चांदे आरती का शोभा जया गारा चांदे आरती का शोभा जानावी तत्वानी जगा मनलोभा आनावी तत्वानी जगा मनलोभा किवदकी निनिताय चाँद बामे गदधारा किवदकी निनिताय चाँद बामे गदधारा निकटे आदेताशिनी वासा छत्रधारा ते आदेताशिनी वासा छत्रधारा किबाबशी अचे गारा चान रत्ना सिंहासने किबाबशी अचे गारा चान रत्ना सिंहासने आरती को अम्मा आदि देवगाने ब्रह्मा आदि देवगाने किवनरा हरि आदि कोरी चमारा दुलाया किवनरा आदि कोरी चमारा दुलाया संजया मुकुंदा बाशु गोषादि गाया जया मुकुंदा बाशु घोषादि गाया किवा शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला किवा शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला माधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परामरसाला मृदंगा बाजे परामरसाला शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे 마둘 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 바제 마둘 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 바제 शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल की बाबाहू कोटी चंद्राजिनी वदना उज्ज्वला कोटी चंद्राजी की बाबाहू कोटी चंद्राजिनी वदना उज्ज्वला वदना उज्ज्वला गालादिसी वनमाला कोरे जलमाला किवा शिवा सुख नारदा प्रेमे गाद गादा किवा शिवा सुख नारदा प्रेमे गाद गादा भागति विनोदा देखे करारा संपादा नोदा देखे करारा संपादा किवा जया जया गारा चांदे आरती का शोभा किवा जया जया गारा चांदे आरती का शोभा जानावी तवाने जगा मन लोभा गौरांगे आरती शोभा जगा मन मन लोभा रंगे आरती शोभा जगा मन मन लोभा गौरांगे आरती शोभा जगा मन मन लोभा ये आरती शोभा जगा मन मन लोभा गौरांगे आरती शोभा जगा मन मन लोभा जगा मन मन लोभा जगा जन मन लोभा निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashyatadishatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha, Kala Chandi Radha, Kala Chandi Radhe. Jayo Radha, Govinda Radha, Govinda Radhe. Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Jaya Gurudeva. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Satarsati Shishimad, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Satarsati Shishimad, His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki. Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Se Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki, Mathura Dham Ki, Jagannathpuri Dham Ki, Navadvip Dham Ki, Ganga Mai ki, Jamuna Mai ki, Tulsi Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Samaveda Bhaktavrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the sum of the devotees. All glories to the sum of the devotees. All glories to the sum of the devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Grand God. Bless you, Shri Prabhupada. Namaste Narashingaya Praladalaadaine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Hiranyakashipurva Shilatan Kanakalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narsimha Madim Sharanam Prapadim Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapadim Tava Kara Kamalavare Naka Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanoringam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jaya Narsimhadev 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 Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shringadev Bhagavan ki, Lal Maharaj ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
Hare Krishna. The curtains will open at 8 o'clock again. Yeah. Yeah. They're changing Krishna's clothes. Huh? Yeah, we usually have the Bhagavad Gita discussions at this time. So you can participate. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the evening program at Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji Temple. We just had the evening artik now, and now they've closed the curtains to change Krishna's clothes so that he can rest comfortably at night. So usually we've been having Bhagavad Gita discussions from 7 to 7:30 every day. And we are on chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita now, on text 68, I believe. So we'll continue with that discussion. Huh? Oh, there, sorry. So we'll continue with that discussion, and then by 8 o'clock the curtain should open. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Can you project the song? Can you project the song? Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrind Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Bhagavad Gita discussion. Where are you all from? Plano, Frisco, Irving, close by? Oh, McKinney, that's far. Thank you for visiting our temple. You're also from the same place? Okay. Wow, amazing. So this is our regular evening program. We go through the Bhagavad Gita verse by verse, and we're currently on chapter 2, and we're almost going to complete the chapter on text 68. How many of you have read the Gita? It's a fans. Okay, that's quite a few number. Okay, so we'll try to cover what's happened so far and then go from there. Those who've read can help me out with coming to the point where we are currently at. Before that, please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So how we do it is I read the Sanskrit, and then there is a word-for-word translation of the Sanskrit, and then we have the translation of the verse, and then we have a purport that explains what the verse is talking about. And then we'll discuss a little bit. Okay. Tasmadyasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvashah indriyani indriyartebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tasmat, therefore, yasya, whose, mahabhaho, O mighty armed one, nigrihitani, so curbed down, sarvashaha, all around, Indriyani, the senses. Indriya arthebhya, from sense objects. Tasya, his. Prajna, intelligence. Pratishtha, fixed. Translation. Therefore, O mighty armed, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. Can you please repeat? Therefore, O mighty armed, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. Purport. One can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness, or engaging all the senses in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As enemies are curbed by superior force, the senses can similarly be curbed not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. One who has understood this, that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, is called sadhaka, or a suitable candidate for liberation. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Okay, some of you raised your hands that you read the Gita. Where does it take place? This you should know even without you reading the Gita. Where does Krishna say the Bhagavad Gita? Kurukshetra, right? There's this huge battle that's happening in this place called Kurukshetra between, who is the battle happening between? Yes, between the Kauravas and the Pandavas, right? So this is the greatest battle India has ever seen. And this is described in the Mahabharata. And Bhagavad Gita was spoken in the battlefield between the Pandavas and the Kauravas for the empire of the entire world. So the Kauravas cheated the Pandavas out of their empire, and the Pandavas tried to have peace in so many different ways, but at last it came to the war, right? Whoever won the battle would ultimately get the kingdom. So at that point, suddenly everybody is there in the battlefield. Arjuna is one of the Pandavas, the chief of the foremost of warriors of that time, and Krishna is his chariot driver. He's taken up the position of being the chariot driver of Arjuna. And when everybody is assembled, Arjuna is asking Krishna, Krishna, can you please take the chariot in the middle so that I can see who's all there in the other side, so that this is who I have to fight with, right? He has his grandfather Bhishma on the other side. He has his teacher Drona on the other side. He has all his cousins and uncles and friends on the other side that he has to battle with. And then ultimately, in a war, people are going to get killed, isn't it? It's whether this side or that side, ultimately, people are going to get killed. And Arjuna, being very compassionate, tells Krishna that, Krishna, I cannot fight this battlefield. What use is this kingdom of me fighting this battle when nobody will be there to enjoy it with, right? When we have something that's really valuable, we want to share it with our loved ones, right? When there is nobody else to share something valuable that we have with, Arjuna is saying, what is the use of actually fighting this battle? And he gives lots of very nice reasons on why he should actually not fight the battle. And then, still, even after giving so many reasons, Arjuna is very confused. He still cannot decide whether he really has to fight the battle or not. And then he surrenders to Krishna and says, Krishna, I'm very confused now. I take you as my teacher and I surrender to you. And then please help me with this conundrum of what I have to actually do. Please guide me. And then from that point, Krishna starts speaking. And that's the beginning of the second chapter. And right in the beginning, Krishna talks about our real identity, which is the most fundamental thing that we have to know in order for us to live a valuable and proper life, right? So currently, if I ask some of you, so how would you introduce yourself, sir? Yeah? Yes? Yes. Work, right? I'm so-and-so, I was born here, I'm currently here, and I work in such and such a company, I have so many kids, or this is my wife and whatnot, right? But all of this identification that we have for ourselves is born out of this body, right? This is this body. If I'm born in India, I say I'm an Indian. If I'm born in America, I say I'm an American. If I'm born in Russia, I'm saying I'm a Russian. But all those designations that we give to ourselves are connected to this body. And this was Arjuna's problem also, right? He's saying, oh, this is my grandfather, this is my teacher, this is my friend, this is my cousin. But Krishna says, no. Those designations that you've given them are because of this body, and this body is perishable in nature. But the real identity of those people that you've said is that they are spirit souls, which is different from the body, which is the sign of life in the body, right? When somebody dies, the body is still there, but we say the person has died. Something has changed in the body, isn't it? 2 minutes back, whatever body was there, the body is still there, which means we are not the body, Krishna says, which is the very fundamental teaching that Krishna impresses upon Arjuna, that you're thinking you're the body, but you're thinking you're a very knowledgeable person, but you're talking everything in terms of the body, right? And that is the biggest problem with all of us in this world also, that we think I am this body, I am so-and-so, I live in such and such a place. So if somebody says about that place, then it's very problematic. If somebody says about me, which I'm thinking that I'm this body, then it's problematic, right? If so many different things that we take offense to because we consider ourselves, we identify ourselves with this body. And Krishna says that's not who we actually are. We are eternal spirit souls. The key word is eternal, right? And we take these bodies just like how we change shirts. Buying a new shirt, I wear it for some time, and once the shirt wears out, I throw the shirt and get a new shirt. That's what this body is. Is basically a machine, right? We can do certain things with this, and once the utility of this goes away, the soul takes up another body. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. Krishna says that how we are born as a child, right? And then we grow into a boy, and then into youth, and then into old age. And even within a single lifetime, we change so many bodies, isn't it? I don't have the body that I had 20 years back when I was 10, 13 years old. So as we grow older, even within the same lifetime, our bodies change. And similarly, once the body is useless for the purpose, then we get a new body. And of course, how we get a new body is dependent on the actions that we do, activities that we do in our current life, right? Nothing is by chance. The science wants us to believe that it was all a roll of the dice. And hence you're born in the body of somebody who has no legs, no hands, born handicapped, and somebody is a born prodigy, right? They can play the piano from when they are 3 years old, like Mozart played the piano. It makes no sense. We are carrying this from life after life after life. These impressions, every activity that we do, it gets impressed upon us. And this is something that we carry from one body to another body to another body. And what are we looking for? All the activities that we're doing, why are we doing anything that we're doing? Any ideas? Any activity that we do, why are we doing it? I'm sorry? Yeah, we follow somebody, but for why do we follow? Yeah, we follow somebody because we think there will be some happiness, right? Oh, this person is doing this, he's done it, and then he has some happiness out of it. So if I do it, I'll get some happiness also. Any activity practically that we do in this world is so that we can be happy, isn't it? Or else we would just not do any activity. Will we go and hammer our finger, tuck, 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 tuck? We'll never do it, right? Even if it's a herd mentality, we'll never do it. Tuck, 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 tuck. It's some intelligence, we need just very little intelligence for us to not do it. But any activity that we do is so that we can enjoy, we can derive some happiness out of it. But since we have identified with this body, we think satisfying my senses of this body is going to give me happiness, right? If I see something wonderful, if I taste something wonderful, if I hear something wonderful, if I touch something wonderful, all these things are actually going to give me great happiness, is our modus operandi in this world at least, right? I have a wonderful house. If I buy a bigger house, I'll be really happy. I have a nice job, but if I get another job with 30% more money than what I'm making now, I'll be happy. I've made my first 1,000. Okay, I need 10,000. I've made my first 10,000, but I think making 100,000 is going to give me more happiness. Okay, making $1 million, I'm not satisfied with $1 million, probably 100 million. This is what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to satisfy our senses by more comfort, by pleasing our senses, basically. But Krishna here is saying something that's drastically opposite to how we are actually living our lives in the world that we are living. Krishna is saying, therefore, O mighty armed, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence, he says. Krishna is saying, okay, you have the senses, but you should not let them run around. Instead, he says you have to restrain these senses. And one who actually restrains these senses is actually of steady intelligence, Krishna says. If you have this Bhagavad Gita, they have some really nice picture plates in the book. And I don't know if you've seen it. There is a I don't see that in this book. Probably the new editions have it. There is a really nice picture, you might all have seen it. A horse with a chariot, and then there is a person who is actually holding the reins of the horse, and somebody is sitting in the chariot. You've seen this? Even if you've not seen this, you can picture this, right? You have a 5-horse chariot, a really wonderful chariot, and then somebody is holding the reins, somebody has to control the horses, and then somebody is sitting on the chariot, isn't it? What should you do for the horse to go in the direction that you want to go? What should happen in this chariot? What should happen? Yeah, the horses have this one-pointed focus. What else is important? Even if the horses have one-pointed focus, something has to go right for the horses to go in the direction that we want. Who drives the horse? The charioteer, right? One who is holding the reins of the horse actually controls where the horses go, which direction that the horses go. And he doesn't just go in any direction that he wants. He goes wherever the passenger wants him to go. Somebody who's sitting in the chariot wants him to go, right? If the chariot driver doesn't hold the reins of the chariot, 5 horses, they can practically take you anywhere that you want. The ride of the passenger is going to be terrible. And it's going to be an awful experience, right? So these 5 horses in the chariot is compared to that of the 5 senses. right? The five senses. The horses can, the sense sees, oh, there is something wonderful to see, the sense will go towards that. That's the object of the sense, right? The sense is the eye, the object of the sense is something that's nice to see. The sense is the ear, the object of the sense is some nice sound that the ear wants to hear. The sense is the nose, the object of the sense is the nice aroma or the smell that, right? Even one sense, Krishna says in the previous verse, as a boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind, even one roaming sense on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence, right? The intelligence is basically like the chariot driver who is holding the reins. And the reins is what? The reins is compared to that of the mind. The mind's job is basically, the sense will say, oh, I smell something wonderful. And then the mind will say, figure out 100 different ways on how I can actually satisfy my sense. That's the mind's job. It'll give you 1,000 options. Ultimately, the intelligence has to come on top of the mind and say, okay, that's, say for example, you sit in an airport and there is a nice donut shop there. Wonderful smell. And then immediately your mind will say, oh, your nose is really attracted to this object of the sense, right? Your mind will say, oh, I really need to have the donut now. And then it will give you 100 options, right? Okay, there is a long line. Let me go and stand at the back of the line. Oh, there is a long line. Let me cut through the line and go. Oh, there is a really long line. I can as well steal the donuts and go. But the intelligence has to come in and say, oh, you've had too many donuts in the last week. You better don't eat the donuts. It's really not good for you. That's how you actually rein your senses. That's the job of the intelligence, to actually hold the mind and rein your senses, right? But it's not a very easy thing to do. Because senses are there. We have the senses. We have this body. We have to get used to the fact that the senses will do this. So one way of doing this is I'm going to cut off the supply to my senses, right? I'm going to sit, not eat anything, not see anything, not hear anything, not smell anything, not touch anything. You're not going to get too far with that kind of a strategy because your mind is going to go crazy when you do that, right? Because we're used to it, really used to enjoying the senses. But ultimately, Krishna says, this is the cause of your misery. Because you're doing so many things to satisfy your senses, that in turn is causing you misery. So, Prabhupada says in this purport, for those who were there when we read the purport, do you remember what is the solution to controlling the senses, to restraining the senses? Correct. Prabhupada says, engaging all the senses in transcendental loving service. You have to engage the senses no matter what, right? You have the senses. You better engage them in a proper way where it's actually useful to you. So you have the tongue, you have to eat. The tongue is going to go after tasty food, right? But eat something that will actually be valuable to you, that is tasty and at the same time won't harm you, which is you offer the food that you have cooked, you offer the food to Krishna and say, Krishna, thank you for providing the food. Because for the food to grow, how many things do we need? What all do you need for basic food to grow? Need the sunlight. What else? Water, right? Rains and earth, right? You need the soil for you to cultivate. What else? The moon, right? That's where the nourishment comes from. The juices and the nourishment of the food comes from the moon, right? Did we create the sun? Create the moon? Nope. Earth? Nope. Water? No. Everything, we already had it, right? So we are using something that was already there. Who is the proprietor of all these things? We think we are the proprietor, right? This earth is mine to rule. I'll devastate it in whichever way I want. I'll drill it in whichever way I want. I can pollute it in whichever way I want because it's mine. That's our mentality, But it's not ours. Did we do anything to get this? We were given all of this, right? So we have to be grateful to whoever has given this. That's the bare minimum, right? Basic human being. Okay, I've got this from somebody. I'm grateful that I've got this from somebody, and there is no rent that we're paying for the air that we're breathing, the sun that we're getting. So, okay, Krishna, I'm very grateful that you've given me this. Please take this, or else we're thieves, right? We're taking it somebody's property without giving it to them. So then when we offer it to Krishna and take it, that becomes Krishna Prasad. It becomes the remnants of the food tasted by Krishna. So at that point, it's not material anymore. You know, it becomes spiritual in nature. The food that we eat is non-different from Krishna himself, which is incredible, right? Then all our senses start getting spiritualized. That's the amazing part. When we start engaging our senses in the service of Krishna, then our senses become spiritualized. It's not covered anymore. Currently, it's like we are seeing the world through tinted glass. I have this glass, but my glass is actually tinted with a yellow paint or something like that. So I see the world for what it is. Once we start clearing out this, then we can actually see the world for what it is. That is devotional service. We're trying to purify our covering, right? We're thinking, I'm this body, I'm so and so, I'm going about my activities, doing that, and in that process, I'm doing so many things that are actually binding me to this material world, and I'm taking birth after birth after birth. Basically, karma, right? If let us do this small thought exercise. You have to have a plate of meal for lunch, right? Say you have some rice, you have some dal, you have some vegetables. What does it take for you to get all this? Where would you get this from? Where would you get the rice from? From the Indian store or whichever store. You get the vegetables from the grocery store. Okay? Where do these come from? Yeah, farm, right? Somebody is farming this for us. And during the process of farming, we plow the land, right? There are so many living entities that are living in that land. We're killing them. We're using fertilizers. We're doing so much activity to produce grains, vegetables, fruits, right? Okay, but the grains and vegetables and fruits don't come from the farm directly to the store. How do they come? They need to be transported, isn't it? You need a huge vehicle to transport all the produce from your farm to the store. And for you to transport, what do you need? Gas, petrol, then vehicle itself. To manufacture vehicles, you need so many minerals and steel and metal. You need roads. You're actually cutting down so many trees, probably forests. So many animals have been living there. You probably killed a few of them. And you're bringing everything to the store. And then how do you go to the store? You go to the store in the vehicle, right? You need money to get the produce and buy the vehicle. What do? You go and work. And when we go to the work, we have to drive again. We have to use the same roads. We are doing so much karmic activity to get just one plate of meal. Think about all the activities that we are incurring, reactions that we are incurring to just have one plate of meal. It's incredible. We're forever bound to this material world. If we don't recognize, right? That then, okay, Krishna, you've given me all this, I'm grateful, you take it first. Then all that activity, the karma vanishes. It doesn't incur upon you at all. Right? And like this, every single sense that we have, we can engage in the service of the Lord. There was a great king called Maharaj Ambarish. Prabhupada talks about him in few of the purports. He was the emperor of the world, and yet he engaged all his senses in the service of the Lord. He says, Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vacham sivaikunta gunar nuvarnane. So he says he always used his mind in thinking about Krishna, his speech in speaking about Krishna, his legs in going to the temple of the Lord, his hands in cleaning the temple of the Lord. Right? Like this, his eyes in seeing the beautiful darshan of the Lord, which is going to open in a few minutes. Like that, every single sense that we have, we can use, engage in the service of the Lord. And in that way, we can restrain the senses. And we can then be at proper intelligence, where the intelligence is guiding the mind and the senses instead of them roaming around in whichever way that they want. Right? But for us to actually do this, Prabhupada says, we need to go to a proper spiritual master, right? Somebody has to teach us how to do this, right? Even to learn ABCDs, we need teachers. Everything that we have learned in our lives, we have had somebody who has taught it. To go to the bathroom, the parents have to train us for such a long time, right? To eat, how to hold things properly. So many basic things we have to be taught by so many people in our lives. And this is dealing with the actual activity of a human being. If we also, with these human bodies, behave in the ways that animals do, which is basically 4 different things, right? Eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. The animals eat, we eat. The animals sleep, we eat, we sleep. The animals mate, we mate. The animals defend themselves. We also defend ourselves in very sophisticated ways. We do everything that the animal does, but we do it in incredibly sophisticated ways, and we think we are amazing people. We are different from that of the animals. But ultimately, the underlying activity is the same. Therefore, the Vedas say the duty of a human being, was somebody who has taken the body of a human being, is to inquire about God. Atato Brahma Jignasa. Inquire. Only we can do it. Why am I here? Why am I doing anything that I'm doing? Right? Who am I? All these questions the cats and dogs cannot ask. Only we can ask, because in this body we have the ability to think. We have been given the intelligence, right? But if we are constantly going after the senses, the intelligence is not completely in control at all. The horses are running hither and thither. Whoever is the charioteer has no control over the chariot. And hence, the wonderful chariot, which is the human body that we've been given, is completely lost. Right? It crashes and burns. And then, okay, another life, another body. We may not get to the human body again. So we go and approach the spiritual master, which is very essential, and ask him, who am I? Why am I going through all this that I'm going through? What is it that I have to actually do? Submit unto him, right? Just like Arjuna submitted to Krishna. Krishna, I'm very confused. I accept you as my spiritual master. Please tell me what I have to do. And then, when we follow the instructions of the spiritual master, that person is called a sadhaka, or a suitable candidate for liberation. Right? Ultimately, we can get out of this material world. But that's not the only reason why we are doing it. As spirit souls, we are individual living entities, and we have a wonderful relationship of love with the Supreme. All of us have a relationship with the Lord, either as a servant, or as a friend, or as a parent, or as a conjugal lover. Right? Krishna has his servants, Krishna has his friends, Krishna has his parents. Only God can reciprocate to us in all different relationships. And all of us have this relationship. We've just forgotten what a relationship with Krishna is. And then we're thinking, I am this body, and we're doing all these activities in a very misconceived fashion. So the entire process of devotional service is to reawaken to our original identity. Right? We're misidentifying ourselves with this body. And we're thinking, I'm so-and-so, I'm an Indian and American and whatnot, and doing activities with that perspective. But no, Krishna says, you're the spirit soul and you have an eternal relationship with me. And the entire process of devotional service is to reawaken our relationship with Krishna. For it, out of all the senses, our acharyas say, the tongue is the most difficult to control. Right? Of all the senses, we can try to control everything, but the tongue is very, very hard to control. And there are 2 functions that the tongue has, isn't it? It has the function of speaking and has the function of eating. And if we just try to start our devotional practice with just these 2 activities, when eating, offer everything that we are eating to Krishna first and say, Krishna, I'm very grateful that you've given me this. And then have that food with some gratefulness. And then use our tongue to chant the holy names of the Lord, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just these 2 things will make such a big difference in our lives. Just starting our path of devotional service with these 2 things. You don't need to do anything, change any activity, isn't it? We're going to eat every day anyway. Instead of eating anything that we want, offer something that Krishna likes. He says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prachiti. Nice fruits and vegetables and leaves and water like that. He's satisfied, he's very satisfied. Instead of going and killing animals and eating meat for our taste, right? That's absolutely it. There is no other reason for us to do it. And then chanting the holy names of the Lord. There is no rules and regulations for you to chant the holy names of the Lord. Anybody can do it at any time and any place. That is the magnanimity of the holy names of the Lord. Because the holy names of the Lord are non-different from the Lord. It is said that abhinnatvam nama namino, the Padma Purana says, the named and the name are non-different from each other. In this material world that we live in, the name and the named are different, right? Say I've been speaking and I'm thirsty. I need some water. I say water, 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 water. Will my thirst be quenched? No. The substance water is different from the name water, isn't it? But in Krishna's names, Krishna is personally present in his names. And when we say Krishna's names, we repeat it again and again and again, our heart gets purified. Our misconception of these identities go away, and we actually know, oh, this is my Lord, this is the relationship I have with him, this is how I have to serve him. And in that way, we get the happiness that we are actually going after, right? Every sense that we use is so that we can become happy. But we're still not getting happy. How many of us are always happy? No. But if you perform devotional service, you can actually be always happy. That is the right use of the intelligence that's been given to us, Krishna says. So that's this verse. We'll stop here, and if there are any questions or comments, we can take it. How many of you have the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, you should pick up a Bhagavad Gita. It's just outside. That's the first step you can do. If you don't have the Gita, please pick up the Bhagavad Gita. It's something that all of us should have. It's essential, right? When you get a washing machine, it comes with a manual. How should I operate this? You can still operate it without the manual, but the washing machine is not going to last very long, and it's not going to be used for its highest utilization. So Bhagavad Gita is like our manual, right? How to live a human life, and what is the purpose of human life. Everything is there in the Gita. So I request all of you to pick up a Gita outside on the way out in our book table if you don't have one. Yes? We don't have anything on Rig Veda, but we do have a book called the Ishopanishad, which is from the Shukla Yajur Veda, which Prabhupada has translated directly from the Shruti. Yeah, I mean, practically speaking, the Vedas, right, have several divisions, 5 divisions at least, right? Aranyaka, Brahmana, like that. And then the essence of all the Vedas are there in the Upanishads, right? Most of the Vedas is basically, you take this, put it there, you do this, put it there. It's talking about how you can actually perform a yajna or a sacrifice, or what are the activities that you need to do for you to get something. But the Upanishads are actually the Jnana Kanda of the Vedas, which actually talk about knowledge. They move away from karma and actually go into Jnana, right? And the Gita is called the Gita Upanishad, right? Sarvopanishado gavo dokta gopalanandana. Adi Shankara says that all this entire Vedas is like a cow. And Krishna is milking this cow, right? And then giving that milk, which is the essence of all Vedas, which is the Bhagavad Gita, to Arjuna. So we don't have access to the entire Vedas now, but we have the access to the essence of all the Vedas, right? If everything is lost and if we have still the Bhagavad Gita, then we haven't lost anything. So that's what it is. And for those of you who might be interested in wanting to know about the Gita in a little bit of more detail than just like a half an hour, 40-minute thing, we have a course called Demystifying the Bhagavad Gita that is starting next week. It's called Demystifying the Bhagavad Gita. So usually every Sunday in the temple here, we have a Sunday feast program. So we have, the program I think starts at 5:15? 5:30. 5:30, we have a discourse on the Bhagavad Gita from 5:30 to 6:15. And then from 6:15 to 6:30, we have some kirtan. And then at 6:30, like today, we have the Sandhya Artik. And at 7 o'clock, we have a free vegetarian feast for all of you, anybody who attends the program. So every Sunday, when you come for the Sunday feast, instead of sitting in the class here, which will again speak about one verse like this, you can go through 8 weeks of methodical study of the Bhagavad Gita. There are 5 major topics that the Bhagavad Gita talks about. Who am I? Who is God? What is this material world nature? What is time? And what is karma? So the 5 major. So we have thematically divided that into 8 sessions. and then we'll take you through those 8 sessions in that course. And it's a very wonderful course. More than 50, 60 people have gone through it, and we've got really nice feedback about the course. So you can go to radhakalachanji.org/wisdom, radhakalachanji.org/wisdom, and then register there, because it's starting next Sunday if you want to register there. And then you can see the poster for it on the display that's there on the right. You have a QR code that you can scan, and it'll take you to the website where you can actually register. And you have posters outside. The same flyers are there outside here and in the Prashadam Hall. So if anybody is interested, I would highly encourage you to sign up for the course. And please pick up a Bhagavad Gita if you don't have one. Okay? Any more questions or comments? Okay. If not, we'll... Correct. Yeah, we should be better at it. We should start listing it. And this is all available on YouTube also. Like, you go to our page on YouTube, you search for Radha Kalachanji or ISKCON Dallas Live, and then you can find our YouTube page. And then all this is broadcast live on the YouTube page also. Correct. Correct. I think we'll take that feedback. I think it's very valuable, and then we'll try to make people do this. Yeah. Usually, what we do here is every day in the morning, in terms of classes like this, we have classes every day in the morning, starting from 7:40 to 8:30 on Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary for the Vedas, right? Vyasadeva. Previously, the Vedas were one. Then, the beginning of Kali Yuga, Vyasadeva actually divided the Vedas and compiled it into 4 Vedas. And then he wrote the Vedanta Sutra, which is basically the essence of the Vedas, right? And he was still not very satisfied. So he wrote the commentary for Vedanta Sutra. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary of the Vedas. So we have a class on that every morning from 7:40 to 8:30. And then every evening from Monday through Saturday, we have the Bhagavad Gita class from 7 to 7:30. We've run a little overtime today, 7 to 7:30. And then on Sundays, we have the Sunday Feast program, where we have the class again from 5:30 to 6:15. And apart from that, we have courses like this that you can find on our website. So, but thank you for the feedback. We'll try to be more clearer with our programs. Okay. Thank you all for coming. The darshan should open in 10 minutes, very shortly. Then you can see Krishna in his night clothes. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrindi ki jai.
Vijita Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavansam Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanstam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, संसार दावानलनिरलोका तराय कारुण घनाघनत्यम् प्राप्त सकलन गुणान्नवश वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् महाप्रभु कीर्तन नित्य गीता बादित्रमाद्यन्मन सोरसेना रोमाञ्चकं पाशुतरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् संसार दावानलनिरलोका प्राणाय कारुण्य घनाघनत्यम् प्राप्त सकलन गुणार्णवश वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् श्रीविग्रहाराधन नित्यनाना सिंगारतन मंदिरमार्जनादौ श्रीविग्रहाराधन नित्यनाना सिंगारतन मंदिरमार्जनादौ युक्तश्च भक्तांश्च निजुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् युक्तश्च भक्तांश्च निजुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् संसार दावानलनिरलोका प्राणाय कारुण्य घनाघनत्यम् प्राप्त सकल्यान गुणार्णवश वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् चतुर्विधासी भगवत्प्रसाद सर्वान्नतीर्थान् हरिभक्तसङ्घान् चतुर्विधासी भगवत्प्रसाद सर्वान्नतीर्थान् हरिभक्तसङ्घान् तृप्तैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव तृप्तैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवयर पार माधुर्यलीला गुणरूप नाम्नाम् श्रीराधिका माधवयर पार माधुर्यलीला गुणरूप नाम्नाम् प्रतीक्षण स्वादन ललोपश प्रतीक्षण स्वादन ललोपश वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् संसार दावानलनिरलोका प्राणाय कारुण्य घनाघनत्यम् प्राप्त सकल्यान गुणार्णवश वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् निकुञ्जजूनारतिकेली सिद्धै निकुञ्ज सिद्धये जाजाली विद्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया जो नारति कैली सिद्धये जाजाली विद्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रातिदाक्षादति बलवशं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं प्राणाय कारुण्यं घनाघनतं तप्तशकलनं गुणान्नभश्च वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं साक्षादरितेन समस्तशास्त्रैः युक्तस्तथा भावत एव सद्भिः साक्षादरितेन समस्तशास्त्रैः युक्तस्तथा भावत एव सद्भिः प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं तो प्रभो च प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं संसारदावानललितलोक प्राणाय कारुण्य घनाघनत्यं सकलन गुणार्णवश वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसाद यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसाद यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि दयं स्तुवं तस्य यशस्वी सन्धं दयं स्तुवं तस्य यशस्वी सन्धं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं संसारदावानललितलोक प्राणाय कारुण्य घनाघनत्यं तप्तशकलन गुणार्णवश वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं शारदावानललितलोका प्राणाय कारुण्यघनाघनतं तप्तशकलन गुणार्णवश वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं वन्दे गुरश्रीचरणरविन्दं माधवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः हरये गोपाल गोविंद राम मधुसूदन गोपाल गोविंद राम मधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन गोपाल गोविंद राम गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपी मदन मोहन हरये राम कृष्ण हरये यादवाय यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः हरये हरि हरये नमः यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः हरये गोपाल गोविंद राम गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ धारी गोपीनाथ मदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन हरये कृष्ण हरये चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत चित श्री चैतन्य श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत चित हरि गुरु वैष्णव Gita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad Gita Hare Madhavaya 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 Ketama Nama Raguna Virupa Vitana Panam Bhatta Raguna Vidivaga Vala Bhatta Vidivaga Asmara Madha Menu Monopanya Hari Jano Maya Nama Jadavai Madhamaya Kesama Nama Adaye Tadev Charana Sevi Akraneva Tadev Charana Sevi Akraneva Jana me jana me ma Hey Abhira Jana me ma Hey Abhira Araye Namo Krishna Jaga Maya Nama Araye Namo Krishna ইচ্ছায়ে গোসাই যাবে ব্রজে কইল বাস ইচ্ছায়ে গোসাই যাবে ব্রজে কইল বাস রাধা কৃষ্ণ Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Kalila Ichhaye got Abhi Braje Kaina Braje Kaina Radha Nitya Leela Kalila Anande Bala Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Hari Guru Hari Bali Nabe Majai Nityaya Tumi Pisachira Ole Vijada Vijada Rama বনে থাক দাদা হরি বলে ডাক ইহে বনে থাক দাদা হরি বলে ডাক এ দুঃখে নাক হরি নাম রে দুঃখে দুঃখে ভুলে নাক সদা নাম রে গায়ে গরত আরে নাম গায়ে গরত মধু সারে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে রাম হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে নাম গায়ে মায়া জালে বাধ্য হয়ে আছো বিছে কাজলয়ে মায়া জালে বাধ্য হয়ে মায়া জলে বদ্ধ হয়ে আছো বিছে কাজলয়ে মায়া জলে বদ্ধ হয়ে মায়া জলে বদ্ধ হয়ে আছো মিছে কাজলয়ে কলতে কলপে কলতে কলপে রাধা নাম রে কলতে কলপে রাধা নাম রে হে গোরখ মদ সরে গায় গোরখ মদ সরে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare